for Herrera all three of the other games. And I love Herrera, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, where's this going to lead to? Can you trust him behind the plate?
It's not a matter of trust. It's a matter of improving the throwing game in order to control the running game, right? So you're spot on. We have taken him out of every game that he started and put Pages in with the lead. Yesterday was a tough one, man, because I'd like to wait a little longer usually. Like 7th and on, you can do it. He's going to get that at bat in the 8th. We like his bat. Not to say that Pages, he's swinging a good bat as well. But you're trading 3 innings of defense for 1 inning of an at bat. And when you look at it, man, you had that part of the lineup where you had 4 out of the next 5 could run. And if any of them get on, a single or a walk is a double, possibly a triple, right? So you're trying to navigate that with a 1-run lead, and it's tough. It's when you're having to think about subbing your catcher out on a daily basis. That's not where you want to be. So we're continuing to work on it. I don't have a great answer for you today as far as what it's going to look like over the next 60 days. But I do know he's working extremely hard at it. What would you have done?
Oh, I don't. Last night, I think you did the right thing because I understood. I saw your post-game explanation. It made perfect sense to me because you lifted him after he was the last out of the 6th. He wouldn't come up again for another 2 innings. You had a lot of Blazers on that team that could pose the tying run or go-ahead run or whatever. So I get it. I mean, when you have a catcher that can't throw guys out, I mean, it's really puts you in a tough position. But my question, a follow-up question is, well, there's 2, if you don't mind. I mean, number one, what responsibility do the pitchers have in all of this? We can see Herrera's arm. It's just not very strong. He's lollipopped a couple throws the last couple days. How can he succeed? If the pitchers can help him, great. But if he can't succeed based on a lack of arm strength, how can he be an everyday catcher in the big leagues?
Yep. Nope. You're right. The pitchers have a responsibility in it. I think they've actually done a really nice job. If you look at a lot of our guys in 2023 and 24 that had tips and tells where they were giving something away, whether it was a shoulder breath prior to pitching or their head work wasn't good enough, they were falling into a certain cadence or rhythm where guys can get a better jump off of them. They've addressed a lot of that, and our times to the plate have been really, really good. The last couple stolen bases, a 119, a 127, you want to stay under a 135. Like the guys have done a really nice job of doing their part. One of the things, he's off today. Herrera's off today. Pages is in there. And one of the things we're going to work on moving forward is seeing what it looks like him throwing from his knees. Quicker transfer, less time getting up and getting on top. So he's more rotational when he stays down low. So we're going to take a peek at that to see if that is a solution for what we're seeing. My gut says it'll be better. So I want to give that a little bit of time before kind of making a decision on it. Yeah.
Oli, I appreciate your answer, by the way, earlier about Gorman, my question about Gorman not appearing there at the end of the game. And back to Mason. I watched his comments after the game, and I expected him to be frustrated. He actually surprised me a little bit in saying he feels good. I mean, he barreled it a few times. Now, in the spring, he said whatever I was doing was not working. I didn't barrel anything. But he barreled yesterday. What do you see in him? Are you seeing a change in his attitude? And also, I guess my second part is, what is your backup plan at shortstop?
No, there's no backup plan. Mason's our shortstop, man. Let's just go ahead and he's going to play short every day. He's in a good spot. Obviously, he's not getting the results that he wants, the results that we need. Okay, that's obvious. But he's in a good spot mentally, and this shows his maturity where he's not down on himself. He knows that this is a process. He knows where he's trying to get to, and he's not coming in pouting and frustrated and throwing stuff. He's a competitor, but he understands, like, man, I'm closer than people think, and he's sticking to it. So him and Brownie will continue to get after it, and BA and Packy in that group and do what's needed to get him back on track. But I actually like where he's at mentally. If I felt like he was on an island, just too frustrated to take that at bat last night, then I'd probably go ahead and do Gorman there. But because of where he's at mentally, I wanted to give him an opportunity to see if he can come through there, and that could spark a really good run for the type of emotional player that Mason is. Like if you go back to Contreras yesterday, like he bunts on his own, right? Lefty, you want to see Contreras do some damage there, all right? He took it upon himself to lay that one down, and that was his way of saying, hey, I know I'm not in a good spot. Like, I don't feel good in the box right now. It's going to come, but this at bat right here, my best chance is to help the team move this guy over and let the two righties behind me try to do something. So there's a couple guys that are feeling really good about their swings right now. There's a couple guys that are kind of in and out. But will they get there? Yeah, I'm confident they will.
Oli Marmol on the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. Oli with us every Tuesday from 12 until 12:30. And feel free to jump in on the chat if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, on Twitter. Go ahead and leave a comment, and we'll try to get to some of those or questions for the manager, Oli Marmol, during these conversations. And, you're talking about Contreras laying down the bunt. How involved do you get in something like that? I mean, he is a veteran. He's been around for a while now. If he does something like that, and maybe you did agree with it, or if you don't agree with it, is it something you address after the game, or you just let it go altogether?
No, man, I trust my guys. You have to trust your veteran players. And if he's in the box and he thinks, hey, my best chance here is to move this runner over and let the boys behind me do their jobs because of how I feel, you have to trust that. And it just shows selfless. Like, he's selfless. Like, he really is. If you think about someone in Contreras' shoes and the type of just his presence, what he brings to that box, and for him to go, you know what, this is my best chance at this, like right now, you have to trust that. And I think it says a lot about him as a person, to be quite honest with you. Give it a week or two, that situation, no, he's going to be doing damage and doing what he does and hitting the ball over the park. But you have to trust how he feels in the moment. I've got no issue with it.
If I could, I wanted to go back to Win just for a minute. You know me, I'm kind of a numbers nerd, so I was looking at StatCast stuff. I've been monitoring that. And first of all, it's 4 games. I get it. It's 4 games. But it's a couple interesting things in there. First of all, his hard hit rate's tremendous. And his barrel rate's tremendous. And his exit velocity is tremendous. But the problem is he's only put 7 balls in play, and there's a lot of swing and miss, and there's a lot of strikeouts. I noticed his launch angle from last season is up by a ton, right? Now, someone could look at that and conclude or maybe surmise he's trying to launch home runs. Is he getting outside himself a little bit by trying to elevate the ball?
I don't think so. I think it has more to do with his leg lift and how he's getting to his hitting position, not allowing his body to rotate the way it normally does. So a lot of it will be addressed with how he's bringing that to his body and not just casting it out and getting outside of himself. That's something that they've talked about. They're going to continue to talk about and figure out a way to address. But no, I don't think this is a situation where he's just trying to launch, and because of it, we're getting these results. He'll tell you he'll take any knock right now. So no, it's not him just trying to leave the yard. No.
And one more before we take a break, Oli, and these are all things that I took mental note of I haven't had a chance to talk to you during this first series. And congrats on a great first series, by the way. We haven't really talked about all that yet, but that first game, what is your philosophy on the sack bunt? There was a situation, I'm going to ask Oli about that, where Jordan had that rocket of a hit, and then he takes second on an error, if I recall, and Victor Scott does not bunt him over. You didn't call for a sack bunt there. It ends up he scores anyway because Newpar hits a home run. But take me through that situation, maybe just your philosophy on a sack bunt.
Basically, it came down to miscommunication, and I'll own it. The bunt was on. We didn't execute. At the end of the day, we got a little mixed up with the third base coach and Vic there. But yes, we were looking for him to try to go ahead and lay one down for a hit, and if not, then sack. It didn't work out that way because you got the pop up to left, I believe. But yeah, that's a situation where I'm definitely okay with him laying it down and seeing if he can get a hit out of it.
Cardinals manager Oli Marmol is with us here on the Gashouse Gang on KMOX. Another segment to go with the manager. Again, will be joining us every Tuesday from 12 until 12:30 and taking your questions as well. You can leave a comment on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter at KMOX Sports, or you can text us 314-436-7900. 314-436-7900. Oli Marmol with the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-222-9599. 800-222-9599. Again, that's 800-222-9599.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Gashouse Gang with Tom Ackerman, Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji, and Oli Marmol, who is the manager of the Cardinals and with us every Tuesday for the first half hour of the show. And Oli joins us now from Busch Stadium right now down in the office, and it's sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. Oli is with us, and again, we've got Bernie and Tom. And as you're looking now at the beginning of the season, it's 4 games, just a general overview of it. How much can you take away from just 4 games of a season?
Well, you look at the body of work in spring as well, and I like the demeanor of our club right now. You want to create an identity around an anchor to something, and when you look at our group right now, they're honing in on 2 things. They want to play the game hard, and that's a good place to be. I like our staff and some of the new additions. There's a lot of accountability. And when I say that, it's not just, when I say accountability, it's not yelling at guys, it's not getting on them. It's just there's a standard that we're committing to as a group. And if we commit to this, it's going to lead to this result. And it's just holding them to that every single day. And I think the staff has done a good job of that. The players are committed to it. And they're playing for one another, man. It's a group that's actually enjoying competing together, and that's been a fun thing to watch. It really has.
Hey, Oli, I wanted to ask you something that doesn't have anything to do with necessarily on the field, but a lot of fans have asked me that, on my various media platforms. So I thought I'd hit you with it, because I'm wondering myself, quite frankly. You're in a kind of an awkward spot for a manager. John Mozeliak's leaving after this year. Chaim Bloom's on the way in, but Chaim Bloom's here. It's not like Mo's got him sealed off like in a locked chamber or something where he's not allowed to hang out with you or talk to you or whatever. But still, you got one boss on the way out, new boss coming in. Number one, is that awkward? How do you deal with that? And number 2, this is a question that really intrigues me. Do you communicate with Chaim Bloom? I mean, he's not going to telling you what to do. I mean, he respects boundaries. I get that, but I find it hard to believe that the incoming boss, who's been around for the second year now, you don't ask him what he thinks, or he may not, from time to time, tell you something he sees. Lay it all out there for us, man.
No, that's perfect, Bernie. That's perfect. Here's how I would answer that. It's not awkward, because both of them have done a really nice job of communicating in collaborating. So no part of it up to this point has been awkward at all. With Heim, a lot of my conversations, and we've had plenty of dinners, and he'll come into the office, are all revolving around the minor leagues. Rarely do we speak of anything big league related, because his focus right now is setting up our minor league system for success this year. And they're doing a tremendous job of that with some of the new hires. So when it comes to speaking into big league activity, player, lineup, playing to anything like that, there's been zero of that. It has all been around minor league coaching staff development, and then player dev. And that's where our conversations are really kind of honed in on. When it comes to the big league staff, no, not yet. And that's where he is super respectful of the fact that Mo's here, and that's Mo's job. So the collaboration with Mo has been around our roster and the construction of it, and how we want to operate this year. Everything minor league related has been more Heim.
How do you see a veteran like Nolan Arenado handling all of that as well? Arenado has come out and has started out very, very good. I mean, we see it. He talked it up in spring training that he was just a ball player going out. Take us behind the scene with Nolan Arenado in what has been a different kind of year for him as well.
Exactly what you just said. The guy just loves baseball. Absolutely loves baseball. It's the only thing he thinks about. He is a baseball rat, man. And all he's focused on is being a better player. He went into the offseason. He knew he had to do some things in order to get back to the Nolan that we've seen for a very long time. And he's come in here with a little bit more of a lightness to him, as far as him and the young guys, like, they gravitate towards him. And why wouldn't you if you're a young guy and mimic a career that's been a very positive one? So the young guys gravitate towards him. He's been really good about, hey, dinner at my house, let's go to dinner here. And the guys love that. But he's smiling more. He's enjoying himself a little bit more, which is always good to see. And it's created a really nice culture in that clubhouse for the young guys to feel comfortable enough asking him questions when needed. So he's going about his business, man. This is a guy that wants to be in there every day. We talked about, because we usually plan out the next 7 days from a lineup standpoint. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about maybe an off day here. He's like, I'm good. Like, I don't want that. I want to keep playing. So he's in a really good spot right now, and I love just the way he's carrying himself throughout on the field, obviously, but in this clubhouse as well.
Related to Arenado is Nolan Gorman, and Keegan is checking in on YouTube, wants to know how you are planning to handle the designated hitter between Gorman and Burleson.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one, right? And it goes back to Nolan, and I'm glad to see Nato walk through the doors, right? And there's a lot about him being elsewhere, and that was in order to handle the DH spot with Gorman and create opportunity for him at third base, which it complicates things a little bit, but it's fine. We'll navigate it. The season, 162 games, it solves itself at times. But the way I would answer that is I'm going to find a lot of opportunities for Gorman to get at bats early on while everyone's healthy. It may not be as many as we would like, but it will solve itself over time. He's in there today. Contreras will have an off day today, and you'll see Gorman in that DH spot with Burleson at first. So we'll pick and choose different days for him to go to third, and have Nolan have a day off, Arenado have a day off at third, and we'll mix and match that way. But my goal is to get him a lot of at bats.
Can you find out if you're not getting him 550 at bats, and we're talking about Gorman here? Can you find out enough about him to know what you want to do moving forward?
That's a fair question, Chris. Yes, you can. I don't think you need 500-600 at bats, but you're going to need a decent sample size there to know what he's capable of doing. So my job will be to figure that out. It's not going to be an easy one, but it's something that I'm constantly looking at when we're planning 5-7 days in advance of how do we get him enough at bats, and not just intermittent at bats where he's playing one day and off for three, because that's hard to get into a rhythm, especially when you're his style of hitter. Like, he's going to need some consistency to what he does. So that's going to be the difficulty in all of this, but my goal is to try to figure that out.
There's a question on the board. This is also on YouTube from David saying, what do you think of the Yankees' new bat design? Are you going to test out a few on your team? My hunch is that the torpedo bats have been a topic for a little while, but now that the Yankees have had him out there, it's been very, very public.
Yeah, and we've talked about it, and we'll continue to talk about it. And Brant has what I like about Brownie. He's got really good relationships with a lot of people outside of just the pro ball industry that keeps him up to date with a lot of things that are out there and things that we'll never see at the big league level because they don't work, and a lot of things that end up sneaking their way in because it shows to enhance performance, right? So, but yes, I know our hitting department's well aware of them prior to all the noise that has been created over the last several weeks. And we'll continue to have that conversation as to what that may look like.
Oli, I wanted to ask you more of a personal question here. We'll be drilling down on baseball stuff as we go along, which is fun. And I know you love those questions. You love to be put on the spot, actually. People don't know that about you. And that's why people in the media should never tiptoe around stuff, because you're kind of like a bring it on guy, which makes you unique, right? La Russa was like that too, so that's a compliment. But anyway, I do want to ask you this. This is your fourth year in the job, and I'm not telling you anything publicly that you and I haven't talked about personally, privately. It's a tough spot for a manager at a time where the franchise is having some problems and they're retooling, and the way you got the job because Schulte was fired and all that. You had earned a shot because you were a bench coach. But what is it about you that you would like people to understand, if there's some misconceptions about who you are and what you believe in and your relationship with Mo, and whether you're taking orders from the front office, whether you're your own man? And I know you're smiling because I know you like the question, actually. So what is it about Oli Marmol you would like fans to know, and like maybe some of the things that or some of the perceptions that just aren't correct about you? Is that a good question? You like that one? You like that?
That's a damn good question. I wish I would known it was coming. I would have given it a little bit of thought. So I'll shoot from the hip here. I'll answer a couple of the things you just asked. When it comes to Mo, there's a lot of organizations that dictate lineup, that dictate playing time, that dictate bullpen management. They script out a decent amount of the game, and some organizations are public about that and have no shame, and this is how we operate and here's why. And there's some that do it and aren't public about it. I will say that Mo and his group have never come down and told me who to play. They've never sent down a lineup for me to play. They've never questioned playing time, bullpen move. Like, if there's something that our fan base does not like about either a lineup or a move, that is 100% on me. Like, zero to do with Mo, zero to do with the front office. I can say that this fourth year managing, he's never come down once and said, hey, I'd like to see this guy in the lineup, or hey, why did we put this guy in the bull? Like, I'd rather see it this way. He hired me to do a job, and he lets me do it. Now, whether people like some of the moves or the lineups that are put out, that is 100% on me and our staff and how we look at that. So no, I would say we are one of the few organizations that don't operate that way. And there's still a lot of organizations that don't operate that way. But is there collaboration on things? Absolutely. But when it comes to that stuff, no, man, he doesn't get involved to the degree that people think. So that's first. Misconception. I think when I was hired, you set out a couple of the reasons why it's an interesting type of, it's not your ideal way to come in, right? And it's unfortunate for me, to be quite honest, because of how it all went down, and I'll leave it at that. But I think when I was hired, people see this young dude come up and they're like, he's a pure numbers guy. He's not a baseball guy in a city that's just an absolute baseball town where people like the small ball. They don't want to hear about analytics. That's a bad word. They don't want to hear about a lot of things that people see the young manager and go, he has to be a numbers guy. He's not a baseball guy. I was raised by some of the most old school baseball guys around, and I take a lot of pride in that. Like, do I understand the modernization of the game and how to apply it? I do. I think to be good, you have to have a blend of both. I do. I think you have to understand probability and how to make decisions over time, but also use your eyes to see the game and understand your players, like who can do what in what situation, whose heartbeat is still in certain big moments, and still watch the game. But I think people don't view me that way, which is, you have to prove that over time. And I had a really good conversation with Tony. This was last offseason, man. And it was really good to hear from him how he felt early on when he was in St. Louis and how he handled that, and things that he handled well and things that he didn't handle well, just personally. Like, it's one thing when you're on a show like this or when you're in the public, but when you go home and you're actually thinking about, man, like the weight of the job, and then the misconceptions of you as a person, or people see 2 minutes of me answering questions post game when I'm pissed, right? Or when we just win. And then they take that and go, all right, this is who he is as a person. And that's far from it. So when you're at your house thinking through it, and he said, like, man, this is how I handled it, and here's what I didn't do well, here's what I did well, here's how I was perceived when I first got here. And when I walk into the stadium now and the whole place is on their feet, won't like that all the time. Understand that. So expect to be hated until you win, that's good advice. Understand that there's a weight to the job that I welcome. It's what gets me up in the morning. It really, like, I enjoy the accountability of this city because they care about their baseball. And I've said it a ton, and I mean it. Like, I don't know if I would wake up and do this job if it was in a city where they didn't care if you win or you lose that night. Like, that is the exciting part about St. Louis, is people, they appreciate when you are consistent in your approach towards the game. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, Bernie, but those are some of the things that come to mind. I know nothing but the Cardinals. This is year 19 with the organization, and I have buddies in other places, and I would say, like, this is one of the best places to have this gig. It really is, and I'm committed to it. But
Oli, this was great. We are looking forward to our conversations every Tuesday, and we might have to keep you for the full hour next time for no extra money. You got to be here for another half hour, because we could talk about so much more with you. So
did we answer enough of the? I just clicked on this and I saw that there's comments coming into the right. I was in a private chat by myself.
You did great. And by the way, we'll get to more of those.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to them.
We'll get to more of those as we go along every Tuesday. Having you, this has been great.
Thank you, Oli. We totally appreciate it. We'll talk to you next Tuesday, 12 o'clock.
You got it, brother. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
That's Cardinals manager Oli Marmol, again with us every Tuesday on the Gashouse Gang from 12 until 12:30. We've got David Eckstein coming up next, but Bernie Miklas, who's with us, is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Bernie, tell us about our friends at Saliga.
I am proud to talk to you about Saliga Heating and Cooling. They've been taking care of St. Louisans since 1927. It's almost 100 years. I mean, Saliga opened the same year the 27 Yankees with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and everybody. It's amazing. And Dan Saliga is the fourth owner-operator of the family business, and he's maintained the very high standards, the great standards. We've been a Saliga family for 16 years and can testify to their integrity, their professionalism, their knowledge, their promptness. When they tell you you're going to be at your house at a certain time, they're there. Not going to try to upsell you, talk you into something you don't need. And they also have that American Standard heating and air conditioning equipment. And part of that is they have their maintenance program, which is called the Priority Club. And I want you to take a look at that at SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, because it'll save you money, because having regular maintenance on your equipment can extend the life of the equipment. But also you have the peace of mind in knowing that you're safe because everything is working well and there's not going to be any surprises. So Saliga's got you covered. Give them a shot. If you're not sure who to call, just bank on that track record. I mean, They opened in 1927. You think they'd still be going strong in 2025 unless they were great at what they did? Come on, this is a common sense type thing. All right. Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. The phone number is there. Thank you.
The Biz Dash returns for its 10th year as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. All levels of runners and walkers welcome. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourIDoc.com.
Hi, my name is Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and I'm asking you, what do you want in a realtor? Do you want experience? I've been a broker for over 21 years. Do you want to know how much I've sold? I've sold over $500 million, yes, $1 billion with a B in sales. Do you want value? I now list properties for only 2%. So, if you're looking for all these things and want the best, then call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The easiest way to park on game day is with iParkit. iParkit has the best game day parking lots in St. Louis. iParkit has 2 convenient garages on Clark Avenue, located right next door on either side of the ballpark. The iParkit game day garages have multiple entries and exits to accommodate all fans, no matter where you're coming from or where you're headed after the game. Download the iParkit app and drive in and out using only your license plate. For your next game day experience, use iParkit Garage for convenience and peace of mind.
Partly cloudy and 53 degrees in St. Louis. The high today of 61.
Brought to you by Volley.
Volley.
Level up game night with Volley, the smart TV app for playing games like Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, or test your knowledge with fun music quizzes and party games. Turn your TV into the ultimate game hub with the Volley app on your Roku or Fire TV. Download it and play today.
Volley.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Today, the Cards, the Angels, Ameren Total Access 550, Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Eckstein. Swing and a home run. Get up, baby. Get up, get up, get up. Bang! Slam home run for David Eckstein, and the Redbirds win this baby 5-3.
Oh, Mike Shannon, don't you miss that guy? How about the Cardinals Conversations, a new part presented by Edward Jones. It is a new part of the experience at the ballpark, and there are 8 of them scheduled for the 2025 season with the likes of Ozzie Smith, Ted Simmons, Ray Lankford, David Freese, and our next guest, the World Series MVP, David Eckstein, is with us on the Gashouse Gang on KMOX. David, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
I think we're doing great so far. It's good to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It's great to be with you, David. Just take me into what you're up to these days and taking a step back. You've also spent some time around this Cardinals club a little bit, just your overall feelings going into this season.
Yes, I'm doing some alumni stuff with the Cardinals, and, got to go watch them a little bit and watch some of their prospects during spring training, and especially through these first 4 games. Very impressed what they're doing, the way they're throwing the ball, the way they're playing defense, and the way they're making contact. It's been very exciting for the first 4 games.
Yeah, it's probably difficult, with your schedule to be able to watch as much as you want to. So how much are you able to pay attention to Cardinals baseball?
Well, the funny thing was, Ash went away for the weekend. She had a convention in Anaheim. I got to stay home, so I got to watch all the 3 games. But she got in. Her plane was delayed about 2:45 this morning. So I had the game on last night, and Angels had just tied it, and then it was in the background. I fell asleep, and I did hear the final out by Mason when they lost. But I was out. But I try to watch as much as I can. But the Central Time, since I'm on East Coast time, is a little difficult. And then once I start traveling, I usually just check box scores.
So the Angels are your former team. So does that mean because you were an all-star with the Cardinals, that means that you care more about us? Is that?
I love it. I got that question, because I do fantasy camp with the Cardinals as well. And so some of my fantasy campers text me like, who are you rooting for? So I just put I spelled cards, but I used a big A with the cards.
Oh, there you go. That's one way to get around it.
Get around. But because I root for both clubs.
David, what was it like then coming into this culture? I mean, you hit the Cardinals when they were rocking and rolling at that time. Of course, you helped them to a world championship in 2006, but what was it like stepping into this?
It was phenomenal. Like I always said, like walking into for the first time into St. Louis, winter warm up, standing ovation from all the attendees, and it just made me feel so welcome. They not only welcomed myself, they welcomed my entire family. They kind of took them underneath their wings. And, I was listening to a little bit of Oli's at the end of his conversation. Yeah, it is about winning in St. Louis. It's about playing the game right, showing up, knowing what you're supposed to do, and then finding a way to win. And, oh my gosh, the team I walked into, we had Reggie Sanders to Larry Walker, Albert to Scott to Yachty, the list goes on. And I was in heaven, and Tony's words to me when I signed was just be yourself. You know what I mean? You got a guy going to play to your right to you, the future Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Just be yourself. And that was music to my ears.
Yeah. And you got, I was talking about your former team. You win a World Series with that team. You come over here, you win a World Series a few years later with this team. There aren't many players that win multiple World Series with multiple teams.
Yeah, it was definitely very special. Like the goal is when you suit up is to be holding up the trophy on the final day. And I know I sit there, and my wife knows this, and I'm allowed to say it. Those were the 2 greatest nights of my life. Because when you put so much into it, I know, isn't it your wedding night? I enjoyed my wedding night. Yes, marrying you was great. But you put so much and you dedicate so much of your life into trying to be the best and at the top of the game, and to have accomplished that twice. Oh my gosh. And like I say, there's nothing on the outside world that even comes close to that adrenaline fix that you get playing in postseason.
David, can you explain on that topic, by the way, how injured you were during the 2006 postseason and going into the world? It's unbelievable. I don't know how you did it.
Yeah, well, because I had ripped my oblique off the bone, so I was coming back from that. And what we did not realize until the All-Star break of the following year, I also had an annual tear in the middle of my back. So I was being taped up from my whole left side of my rib cage was being taped up. Then, because I came back, with 10 games to play, so I played Friday and Saturday in Houston. And I was only supposed to play 2 games. We lose both of them. And I talked myself into a Sunday night game against Roger Clemens that night. And of course, in one of my bats, I pulled my hamstring. And so now I'm being taped with my hamstring. And then game 5 of the NLCS, on the first play of the game, I dive and second degree subluxation of the left shoulder, but stayed in the game. So now I'm taped from my left shoulder down my thing. So my whole left side of my body was completely taped up. And took it from there.
That was 19 years ago. I don't even know how you're healed by now, let alone the same series. How are you still able to play?
Oh, I know. Yeah, like it was. I mean, like the thing about it is when it's just postseason, it's only for that one game, and everything. Like you forget about a lot of the stuff, Yeah, the body is sore now, and I don't know how much playing I'll be able to do going forward. But at that moment, there was no way I was not going to play. Like they would have legitimately had to force me off the field. And luckily, back then, you had to go in Tony's office and say, I can't play. And I was not about to do that. So he kept writing my name in the lineup.
So at the start of this conversation, I mentioned Cardinals Conversations presented by Edward Jones. You'll be part of this. Your first one is coming up on April 25th, and then you'll have another one later in the summer in July. You want to tell people about Cardinals Conversations?
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely a unique opportunity where you're going to get to hear from, former Cardinal legends. Just have a conversation with either Chip or Brad, and that's when the good stuff comes out, and some of these are going to be pre and some are post, but they're able to get a third base field ticket for the game. But then like at the event, they'll get a pre-signed photo. I guess there's a limited part of that, but soda, water, and a light snack is included, which is always great. But at the end, they're going to be able to get, when it's myself, David Freese, or Ozzie Smith, they're going to be able to get a selfie with us and the trophy. But it's something that we get to just truly kind of just connect back with the fans and relive some of the past, our greatest moments as a Cardinal.
Just some great names there. Ozzie Smith, Ted Simmons, Ray Lankford, David Freese, and David Eckstein on April 25th and July 13th. Part of this Cardinals Conversations, cardinals.com/conversations. David, what a great thing that is.
No, it is. It is. And the greatest thing that I would say that the Cardinals do is they have this alumni, like the fantasy camp. So, and they bring back so many different alumni. So I've gotten to connect with so many generations of Cardinals. That's when, I really get to talk to Ozzie a lot. And then I don't know if many people know, but Ted Simmons was actually my bench coach when I went to San Diego. And you talk about a mind, like I tell him, he's allowed to call me anytime he wants to discuss anything about the game, because every time I come up to him, he has a different idea about the game and how it should be played and stuff like that. And it's just fascinating and stuff. And then, Boom Boom Ray's one of my favorites now. I get to see him all the time. and just here, yeah, I know. So it's good. And then, I mean, what many people don't know is the fact that, like I always say, like I was able to go to Game 6 of 2011, and that was David Freese's game. And I was up in the stands just being a fan. And I tell David all the time, he brought the love of the game back to me, because sometimes the game, the business of the game gets involved when you're a player, and you truly just want to take it back to just when you were that little kid and you turn on the TV and you watch the game and just to be a fan. And that night in Busch Stadium, the fan came back to me. And I always say I promise to never let the business side of the game affect my love of the game.
Yeah, and you're the one who ran out onto the batter's eye backdrop, the shrubs, and got the ball. That was
you saw
you.
that, right? Yeah,
that was you. Yeah, I knew it. Nobody knows David Eckstein's the one who got that ball. Hey, it was awesome to talk to you, David. We let's do this again soon. Regardless, forget about Cardinals Conversations, which is awesome. We want to talk to you anyway.
Yeah, awesome. I'm going to be in town a lot this year, so yeah, please just reach out and we'll definitely set this up.
Thank you, David.
All right, take it now.
Thank you.
That is former World Series MVP David Eckstein. Cardinals Conversations, multiple people, as Tom mentioned, are part of this. Cardinals.com/conversations to get tickets for it. Going to be a great event. Tom Ackerman and Chris Ranji on the Gashouse Gang.
Community America Credit Union is opening a new branch in Hazelwood. Join me, Amy Markscores, special Cardinals alumni, and Fred Bird on April 10th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for the grand opening. We'll have food trucks and a chance to win prizes. See you there.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is, how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey for Window Nation. April is a great time to spruce up around your house, especially during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. There's no limit to how much you could save, and if you buy a house full of windows, they'll include a free entry door too. Plus, you could get new windows and pay nothing until 2027. Just imagine what you could do with all that extra money. Sale ends soon, so hurry and schedule your estimate by calling 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Make reservations for the 2025 Women of Achievement Luncheon, presented by KMOX. This award luncheon takes place Tuesday, May 13th at the Ritz-Carlton, St. Louis, and celebrates 10 outstanding volunteers from across the St. Louis metropolitan region. Doors open at 11:15. The luncheon runs until 1:30. Reservations are $60 per person. Sign up and find more details now at KMOX.com/events.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-MILLION. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
From the very first phone call till they wipe down your brand new bathroom, it's going to be nothing but courtesy, professionalism with Michael's Baths. Hey guys, Dave Glover here with my friends at Michael's Baths. So they are completely local. They only do bathroom remodeling. They're sort of like Bath Fitter and 3-Day Kitchen and Bath and Jacuzzi, except they're 30 to 50% less than they are. They have total professional craftspeople who are putting in your bathrooms. If you are a veteran, you can get one for absolutely free. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions. So it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now, back to the Gashouse Gang on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals. 1120 AM, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Every weekday from noon until 1 o'clock, we do the Gashouse Gang. Tom Ackerman is with me, Chris Ranji, and we were pretty Cardinals heavy today. Oli Marmol's part of the show every Tuesday. Now we get a whole half hour with him, sometimes a little longer. David Eckstein just visited with us. But the Blues, Tom Ackerman, are trying for their 10th straight win. They've not done that since you know what season.
That's right. 2019, the Stanley Cup year, and the Blues, a couple of news items for today. They will start Jordan Bennington in net. That has already been confirmed after their morning skate, and Jimmy Snuggerud is going to be ready to go tonight.
Let's
the
go,
Blues'
man.
top prospect. I mean, this is really getting interesting now.
It's super
You
interesting.
got these young guys, you got the veterans, you got the excitement. They hit, they score, they skate extremely fast, faster than they've been in a long time. This Blues team is the real deal.
7 games left to go for the Blues. They are 5 points in front of the next team, Calgary, so they are in fantastic position to secure a final playoff spot. Good luck to the Blues tonight, looking for 10 straight. We're going to be back. Actually, no Gashouse Gang tomorrow, early pregame show, but the Gashouse Gang will be back on Thursday at 12 o'clock right here on 104.1 FM KM.